The Supreme Court taking up a case this morning that will probe whether President Obama overstepped his powers when he used executive action. He was using that action to try to protect millions of illegal immigrants from deportation. He wants them to stay here, and by used executive action, to get them to stay here. Napolitano is here with me now. What do you make of this?
Well, you know, it's a very unusual situation for federal courts to enjoin the president.
Yes.
To prevent him from doing what he wants to do. The last time this happened was 1952 with Harry Truman during the Korean War, where he seized steel mills that were on strike and operated the steel mills to force out the strikers because they needed steel for the war. And the Supreme Court stopped him, said you can't do it.
Hold on a second. We've been hearing for a long time that the president has overstepped his authority with these executive actions. And now finally
the courts have found that.
The courts now to the Supreme Court are challenging that. And this has not happened since 1952?
No, the challenge has happened, but the president has not been enjoined during the challenge. So a federal district court judge stopped the president from enforcing his executive orders. The Justice Department appealed that. The United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit stopped the president from enforcing his orders. The Justice Department has appealed that. Now it's before the Supreme Court of the United States.
4-4.
Well, it probably is 4-4. If it's 4-4, the injunction stands.
Right.
Because it does not disturb what happened below. It's not precedent, but the injunction will stand. And this whole process will be fruitless for him. It's not going to be changed in the remaining 8 months of his term.
Now, arguments will be presented today. The lawyers
as
will
we speak,
plead their
presented.
case.
Yes.
So we know what they're saying, and we'll get some intimation of the way the court might decide from what they've said in the comments from the justices.
The only member of the conservative side who might waver on this is the Chief Justice, because of those of us who watch him have come to the conclusion that he has a belief that it would be better for the court not to hear this than to rule 4-4, because it's such a profound issue. So the Chief Justice might persuade enough members of the court to say, we shouldn't hear it now, it's not ripe, the states don't have standing, some way to resolve it without voting on the merits.
Because the Chief Justice, Justice Roberts, was so burned by Obamacare and the decision on Obamacare, and previously burned on the Florida vote in the year 2000, that he wants to remove completely the court, remove it as much as possible from any political entanglement. Is that it?
He doesn't like the court to resolve political disputes. I would argue this is not a political dispute. It is a profound constitutional dispute. Yeah. Can the president change the law? And if the effect of that change in the law is to force the states to collect more taxes and spend more money, he's basically saying to the states, you have to spend this money. If these people stay here, you have to make education facilities available for them, emergency rooms available for them, welfare payments available for them, the types of safety nets that the states provide, whether you budgeted it or not, whether you have the tax dollars or not. That's a constitutional issue. Can the president force the states to raise taxes and spend money in ways that they don't want to do it?
Well, you and I would say, no, you can't do that.
So have the lower courts.
The other side of the political coin would say, yes, of course you can do that.
Yes. Here's the president's compassionate argument. It's an interesting one. The people he wants to stay here are illegal adults who have had babies here. The babies are American citizens. So he says, what should I do? If I follow the law and deport the parents, I have to deport American citizens, which is against the Constitution. If I don't deport the children, citizens, and deport the parents, I'm breaking up families.
So the court has to decide on that merit, too. That's part of the argument, isn't it?
I think the court should resolve this on the merits, but the chief will be very frustrated if it's 4-4, because that is not a resolution on the merits. You know, does all this make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. It makes horrible sense, actually. Thank you, Judge.
We don't always get gratifying outcomes from the court.
No, we don't.
We sometimes get foul balls and ways to avoid giving us a solid answer.
It's all your fault. Thank you very much, Judge. Appreciate that. All right, next case in America.